The Raptors with a big fourth quarter to win over the Charlotte Hornets. 114-99 is your final. Welcome to Raptors Tonight, live from Real Sports. I'm Randy Urban, joined by Jack Armstrong, Paul Jones, and Leo Rautins. Fellas, gotta win. Doesn't matter how pretty it is. Scotty Barnes was sensational. Leo, what did you like from him?
Energy.
Yeah.
You know, this is a game where the Raptors didn't start out the way they'd like to start out, the way we'd like to see them start out. Scotty's always seen, aside from the bench that did a pretty good job in this game, Scotty's just that guy that just seems to, even when things aren't there, like trying to get it going. And once things get going a little bit, the floor opens up a little bit more, and that gives him more opportunity to do what he does. But he's consistently been bringing that energy, and it makes a huge difference for this ball club.
What did you like, Jonesy?
With regard to Scotty, the relentlessness.
Yeah.
Like he just kept coming. He kept, and I think what epitomized it for me was that play at the end of the game where he was like 3 times on the offensive glass and ended up with a dunk. Yeah. Just like, no, we're scoring. I'm scoring. Fouls, push, bump, whatever aside, I'm not taking any excuses, and this ball's going in the hole. And I mean, he tied a career high, 17 rebounds tonight, right? So, and to me, rebounding is it's a measure of effort. And when you get that, as Leo said, you get that energy, you get that kind of effort and that relentlessness. I thought Gary Trent was terrific off the bench tonight, too.
Scotty Barnes in transition, Jack. It's a joy to watch him in transition because I know he got called for a couple of charges tonight, but he makes the right play, the right pass. He's so strong. He's faster than I think people think.
And he's got his handle's really good.
Yeah.
He obviously in the half court, that's still a work in progress a little bit when people get up under him, smaller guys. But when he has space and he's able to get out in the open court and make things happen, he's got tremendous vision.
Yeah.
And he can use both hands. Super effective.
Just real quick pause here for a second on the basketball because I see Chef over there. He's going to introduce a new dish here to the menu. I know it's the holiday season. What do we have here, Chef? First of all, how are you?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good to see you.
Everyone.
How we doing? All right.
I got grease on my hands.
What do we got here?
What do we got here?
How's it going, guys? So this is a special dish.
Danny, check it out first.
That is part of our festive menu. So the whole concept of this dish is to kind of have a real sports twist on a open-faced turkey sandwich.
Okay.
Open-faced turkey sandwich, traditionally a piece of bread, some mashed turkey, some gravy. Not really a sandwich, but used to eat with a fork and knife. I usually tend to use a spoon just to kind of use it more
really
like a shovel, right?
Yeah.
So this is a real sports festive menu that we have. So it is the hot turkey sandwich. So what's in it? Everything is made in-house. Piece of bread, right? So we have our butter mash on top of that. Our in-house made turkey stuffing.
I'm seeing about 5 workouts in this.
That's half hour on the treadmill
we have our in-house eater here.
Yes.
So, Leo, you want to do a little taste test?
All right.
I will warn you
What's that on top of the turkey?
It is crispy onions. So there's turkey
onions.
gravy, crispy onions, some peas, and then we also have a cranberry sauce to put it.
Right.
If you do finish this whole entire plate,
You'll
will
take
put
a
you
good
in a
nap
coma.
after that. You'll be in a
guys.
coma.
How's it? Awesome. Right.
Good.
Okay. Awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, Chef. I appreciate
no
that.
problem.
Thank you.
All right, that's the new
My
item.
cardiologist thanks you.
Okay, guys.
Thank
you.
Appreciate it.
That's
All the
awesome.
best.
You guys. Enjoy.
Thanks,
All right.
pal.
About that.
You want to dig into this?
No, I'm
Randy, go ahead. Come on. You look like you're wasting away. Look at
Yeah, you are wasting.
You know what?
I'm
I'll
a little concerned with you.
I'll have some after the show. Let's talk about Pascal Siakam. He's shooting above 50% from the field this year, which is the highest he's shot since the championship season. Another efficient night tonight. Why is he so efficient lately? What is he doing that's allowing these kind of numbers?
I personally think he's taking more shots around the basket.
Yeah.
He's getting the ball in there more. And as crazy as this sounds, sometimes when you're struggling shooting the ball from 3, you're still a scorer. So you got to find other ways to score. So I think it's kind of forced him a little bit. I wouldn't say reinvent himself, but just to go more with what's working And I think, therefore, you're getting more shots around the basket, more are going to go in.
Yeah.
He's getting downhill. And he had one tonight. I don't remember who it was that was on him. Might have been Rozier, somebody that couldn't guard him. He was out the top of the key, went one dribble left, back to the right, back to the left, got him inside the foul line, between the foul line and the dot, turned and shot it over him. And I thought, he's probably done that in practice all summer like 100, 200 times on a day. And that was, I mean, the defender was there, but he wasn't there. He might as well have been like a practice dummy. Yeah.
The only criticism I would have is that for 3/4 of the game, he's attacking, he's going. That first quarter, I mean, that's when you need your main guys to say, no, you're not winning this game. We're going to take this game. We're going to get rid of you quickly. And they need Pascal to be there from the get-go.
Yeah.
They need OG to be there from the get-go. Scotty is the one of the three that consistently tries to be there, but they need the other guys. You dig a hole against Charlotte, you can get out of the hole. You dig a hole against better teams, you're not getting out, right?
It's interesting. A year ago, I would say Scotty of the three was the one you really had to
waited.
You had to wait on.
Yeah.
And but I agree with you, Leo.
I think he's reading the situations way better than in the
Yeah.
past, so he knows he's got to, right?
Yeah.
I thought
Go ahead.
there was one point in the third quarter where I think it was Schroeder hit a three, about 4 minutes to go in the third. Schroeder hit a three, cut the lead to 70-69, and Pascal was really vocal with the guys, trying to get them fired up, because I think there was a little spirit lacking in the first 2/3 of the game, and I saw Pascal really trying to implore his guys to pick that spirit up, and I like seeing that from him on the court. I'd like to see. Obviously you want your leader to lead by example, but a little bit more of that I think is great.
He's a long-time veteran.
Yeah,
And, and leadership comes in a lot of different ways. You don't have to always be like a rah-rah type of guy. Leadership's example and effort and performance.
Yeah.
But that's probably the one thing that's jumped out at me about Scotty this season. He's been vocal.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He's talking to guys. He's getting excited. And you need that. Like one of your best players has to give you that.
It was cool to see it from Pascal, just because, he was kind of doing what we were all feeling at that moment, like, let's go.
I mean, I look at, Scotty in particular, and he's at a point now where he knows he's on the cusp,
Yeah.
on the precipice. He's right there of being a guy that can do whatever he wants, whenever he wants, and has to translate that into what does my team need now and what are we going to do? I could do that. I could do this, but what do we need? And when you watch him, because he's got everything.
It's not easy.
And it's not.
To decipher.
It's not. And because I guess the good thing is he has all the physical tools, right? It's not like they can back off and he can't shoot it, or they can push up and he can't handle it. He has everything. He can pass it, he can shoot it, he rebounds. But it's a matter of him now just figuring out what I need to do when, and as long as he plays with that relentless energy, I don't think anything bad is going to happen.
Yeah, right. Jack, from a team perspective, what else was critical for the Raptors in pulling out this win?
I thought their second unit came in and gave him a good lift, down the stretch. I thought, we mentioned Gary Trent Jr. and how well he played. I thought
First double-double.
Yeah,
Of his
Boucher, limited minutes. Precious Achiuwa. I thought both of them brought like energy and force and toughness and on the glass, cutting, getting open, contesting shots, moving their feet defensively. So really, really good effort.
How many assists tonight?
You can find that.
They were at 26.
They were right at 29, and I don't know if they got to 30. I don't
know if they got to 30 either.
I'll tell you right now.
They were
They
right
had
there.
30 assists.
So
33
that's
assists.
a franchise.
30.
That's a franchise record for consecutive games with 30 or more assists, right? It's a franchise record. So, and again, that tells me something about how they're playing, how they want to play, what they value in their play. I got to tell you, this game, Leo, could have been different in the first part.
Oh, yeah.
Had they not turned the ball over. Like they
A lot
kept
of those
Charlotte
are
in the game.
Careless, sloppy. You know? too casual, right?
Yeah.
Did you guys notice anything in Trent Jr.'s game that allowed him to have the game that we're accustomed to
He's just
seeing?
aggressive.
Yeah.
Confidence, yeah.
Yeah, when he's aggressive, you could say that about a lot of guys. I mean, you don't need to overthink. The biggest problem players have is they think too much. Just play the game. And when he just gets a shot, looks for a shot, and I thought his teammates when he got it going, they found
looked for him.
They
Yeah.
found him.
Leo, not a thinker on the court.
Huh?
You're not a thinker on the court, were you?
Yes, that's why it holds some people back, Randy.
Well, speaking of holding people back, no, that doesn't make any sense. It's time for our fan of the night. Let's welcome
Fan of
in
the night. All right,
Jeannie
here we
Lau.
go.
Jeannie, where are you at? Jeannie! Bring her in. She's out the back there. Jeannie, come on.
Hurry up.
Jeannie, let's
Get
go.
back there.
I think
Jeannie!
you know what? You know what she realized? Tickets aren't on the wheel anymore. That's what she realized. So she's out.
She's coming. She's coming.
I think Randy took the tickets out.
Oh, it's not Jeannie. Oh, Jeannie's in the bathroom. We'll get her when she comes back. We'll talk a little bit
You
more
gotta go. You gotta go.
Orchestrated television. That's
basketball.
supposed to
We're live. We'll wait
be
for her.
more
We'll wait for
organized
her.
on this show.
Yeah, it's all right. So Terry Rozier always seems to have a good game against the Raptors.
Yeah.
Why do they have trouble slowing him down? Terry
He's a good player. I mean, listen, without LaMelo Ball, you know that he's going to have the ball in his hands, and he was terrific tonight.
Yeah.
He's their guy.
Yeah.
I mean, think of where they would be without him. They're already missing LaMelo, but you just have to know if you're Toronto, he's going to be handling the ball. He's going to be scoring. He's going to be making decisions. He's the guy you got to really try to shut down.
I feel like he's one of the more underrated players in the NBA right now. No one really talks about him. The last 5 or 6 games, he's averaging 26 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, something like that. This guy is a player.
And he's on a team that's really struggling. But I've always been a big believer. You look at that team, you put him or even a Gordon Hayward, who's finally healthy. If he stays healthy, he was sick. But I think those guys, you put them on a contending team, they're really good guys coming off the bench.
Yeah.
That's why I think you make decisions. A lot of them are monetary, but Rozier left Boston. I liked him better in Boston because he was part of something. What is he part of in Charlotte? There's nothing happening. So he's a very good player. The reason we're not talking about him more because he's in Charlotte, right? It's you don't win games.
Well, they have a lot of talent, some really interesting pieces. Why are they having such trouble figuring it out? There was a while there where they were, in the play-in or 8th seed, and since then it's just been loss after loss. And I like some of the talent that they have on that team.
I think they've had just a tough time over the last little while with injuries and personnel fitting together,
Suspensions.
keeping some continuity, keeping a group together that can go forward. Because you're right, Rand. Every time it looks like, like they're in the first round with a Kemba Walker, and this is a chance. Something happens.
Yeah.
And they just don't have that continuity.
Yeah.
Bridges needs to get Nexus too.
All right. Let's bring in Jeannie Law for our fan of the night. Jeannie, come on in. Where are you? Come on in here. Come on over here. We'll get you in. Oh, taking the long way around. I like it. Come on in here.
Thank you.
All right.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Here's a
all right?
mic for you.
Thank you.
So you know these guys?
We know, yeah.
Jack
Sure.
Armstrong, Leo Rautins, Paul
We're old
Jones.
friends, right?
Old friends, right?
That's right.
Do you have a question or comment?
Do you think Scotty Barnes is an all-star this year?
We
Great question.
talk a lot
Scotty
about
Barnes?
Scott. Yes, he's an all-star.
I'll tell you what, he's playing like one right now. I mean, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if he made it. Now, obviously, the one-loss record in some way, shape, or
That's the
form
big
is going to
variable right
determine
there.
it.
Wins and
but
losses.
if they play a little better and start getting right around 500, I think he's got a great chance of getting it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I just, it takes me back to when we had a burgeoning Chris Bosh. He was coming into his own and he was playing well, and people were like, why isn't he on the All-Star team? He's got these great numbers, but the team was 10th. And as Jack said, I think a lot of it is determined by, wins and losses. Even now, people are talking about MVPs, and we keep hearing some of the same names, but I'm looking at the top of the standings. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander should be on the MVP ladder right near the top
100%.
from where his team is.
100%.
So, to your point about Scotty, it's the same thing with winning.
I mean, in our heart, he is.
Oh, I mean, he's playing terrifically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's playing like an all-star.
Do you want to have some of this turkey sandwich, or do you want to shoot for a prize?
I will shoot for the prize.
Okay, all right.
Shoot for the prize. I like it. Here we go.
All right,
Thank
Mark.
you.
Come on over here, Jeannie, and you got to spin the wheel first,
Okay.
and then whatever that lands on, you got to make the shot to win the
All right,
prize.
I love it.
all right?
A lot of
Give
pressure.
it a good spin.
Little spinorama here.
You're like Bob Barker. 2 entrees, T-shirt. Oh, a bag. The bag's really popular.
bag.
right?
Everyone loves
It's a-
the
it's a nice-
bag.
yeah, it's a Herschel bag, but you got to shoot for it.
Do I have to
bag
get
have
the
money?
shot in to get the bag?
Well, generally that's
I'll be shooting
how it would work. But I got faith in you.
There we
All
go.
right. Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see. Come on over to camera 1 here. We're gonna give you the bag here.
Oh,
Hold
thank
that
you.
up. Show the camera. Give it a little
All
shout
right,
out.
I
to
love
somebody
it.
at
There we
home.
go.
I'm shouting out to Alessa, Emily, and Alex. Who are
All
here
right,
tonight.
congratulations.
All right.
All right.
Give a hand for Jeannie. Thank you. High five.
All right, way to go.
I'll get you out of here.
Thank
Sorry
you.
about the mix-up earlier.
all good.
Thought you were
Hey, that's his night job, see? Works at the local club.
See how good he
The
was at
velvet
that?
rope.
It's a pretty easy job. I don't know.
Velvet rope.
By the way, you know why she was she was smiling so much?
Why?
She had no idea the tickets were taken off that wheel right there.
All right, it's time for.
We know the truth though.
Okay, we got another special guest, a
Special
surprise
guest tonight.
Hey,
Raptors.
All right.
Coach, how are you, sir?
Here we go.
What's up, Jack?
Coach Casey.
You know these guys?
A little bit.
A little bit, eh? Here.
A little bit.
I have a little microphone for you. How are you?
Doing good. Doing
I
good.
saw you in the
Enjoying
crowd.
the
It
game
was, yeah, nice to see you and your
Great
wife.
to be back.
Yeah.
Great to be back, seeing everybody.
I want to know what his workout schedule is.
I know.
This always looks good.
Well, it's stress. It's one thing that even down in the front office, you still have a level of stress and a level of anxiety, trying to get it done, but and some DNA.
Yeah.
My grandfather was probably 85, and looked like he was 45. So
Dwayne,
hopefully-
can you ever turn it off? I saw you sitting in the stands tonight watching with your family, and I'm thinking, is Dwayne looking at this and watching like what's going, like they should be playing the screen and roll this way, like what's that call?
Always.
Can you ever
always,
turn
Joe.
it off?
You're always watching, seeing what they're doing. We're also, too, from the lens now, evaluating talent. The most fun I've had here lately, going to University of Kansas practice, Duke practice, Kentucky practice, Tennessee practice, and you'll be amazed about the fundamentals that are being taught and who's the good coaches, what guys are being coached well versus the guys who are not being coached. And I think that's something from a front office standpoint you have to really look at in today's game, because if not, those guys are coming in first 2-3 years learning how to play the game. So hopefully I can add that value to the front office to look at guys, how they come out, how they've been groomed, how they've been coached from a college standpoint. And it doesn't have to be a big school. It could
Right.
be a smaller school.
Right.
It could be, it doesn't matter.
You bring up a really interesting point, because a lot of times in scouting, you don't have former coaches that have your background at not only the pro level, but the college level, and you coached overseas. So you have a good appreciation when you're sitting in the room. A lot of these front offices now are analytically driven, and you're a legitimate basketball man sitting in there. That's an important opinion you bring in, a voice.
Well, hopefully, Jack, that's the value you bring to the table. A lot of times it's a herd mentality in scouting. This guy can play, everybody's going for this guy.
Nobody wants to go out of the box.
They
right?
don't want to go out of the box because they don't want to be wrong. And I'm too old to be to care, so I'm gonna give my opinion how I feel, and in a respectful way. But
Yeah.
from a coach's standpoint, I think that's important, especially for the young team like we are in Detroit.
Well, so many times it's one thing having a young guy, but when that young guy doesn't understand something that, say, we all knew in 9th or 10th grade, that's a problem.
No question.
That's a huge problem.
And I don't want to rag on the AAU programs because they do have benefits.
Right.
But it has hurt our
Sure.
league, because now, guys, even though you lose at 10 o'clock in the morning, you're going to play again at 1. You're going to
And
get
at
your
6.
minutes, and at 6, and tomorrow at 10, and
Yeah.
tomorrow at 1. So learning how to win is something that I think is lost through the AAU program. I think the de-emphasis is on the high school coaches. now more so. It's more, the AAU coach is more important and more prominent in players' lives. So again, it is not the AAU guys' fault. They're trying to be successful. So they don't have time to go back into fundamentals. And not all of them. Some of them will go back and do a good job in fundamentals. But I'm amazed at some of the college coaches that don't teach it, kind of afraid to lose players in the transfer portal. But you see the good college coaches, how they coach. They don't care if you the first man or the 15th man. They're going to coach you up.
So if I could jump in, let me ask you a question. So now with the G League, bringing in these kids instead of college, that option, how good is that in terms of their development versus, say, going to college or taking that route?
I think the G League, is a kind of a barrier or kind of a stopgap from having to go to Australia, from go to Europe that 1 year. And I think it serves that purpose. I was just out in Vegas last week, and Josh Hart is doing an unbelievable job with those
Syracuse guy, though.
Syracuse guy, that's good. But he's doing a heck of a job. Amir Johnson is his assistant coach.
Yeah, I know that.
And Amir's doing a hell of a job with them, coaching, teaching on the court, talking to guys. Because, again, he was the last high school player to come straight to the pro. So what better ambassador or coach can you have to talk to these guys? And he's in their ear all the time doing a good job. But, again, I do think the G League at night, the OTE or OTA in Atlanta, are great stopgaps between guys coming to the pros because they can go there and learn.
You guys got one of them this year, right?
Yes, we did. Yes,
so,
Sar is going to be a heck of a player. He's been coached hard. His parents have done a great job with him, and you can tell the difference.
When you talk about coaching, you talk about the front office, and you talk about that you get to a certain age where you stop caring. What is that age? Because I feel like I want to get there. and,
That's a great question.
And then what's the more stressful job? Because I feel like as a coach, I can't ever stop thinking about the game that just was.
Well, coaching is by far the most stressful, especially in today's game. And I would say college coaching, Jack, you've been a college head coach in college for a long time. The college coaches today have probably the hardest job. One, you've got to have somebody who's almost like a general manager handling the NIL, the transfer portal, recruiting the transfer portal. Not only just high school, you have a specific coach recruiting and watching the transfer portal. The pressures of losing a player to the transfer portal. So it's so much going into the college game now. There's a lot of stress in college.
And athletic director saying you win now or you're gone.
Now, and the pressure of winning now or you're done. The same in the NBA. So whatever level of coaching you're in, no matter what age you are, there is a level of stress that there goes along with that job.
Yeah. You look at the NBA, obviously, and college, the three-point shot is such a big emphasis, and understandably so. What next trend do you see coming down the road, 3 to 5 to 7 years, based upon the way the game's being played right now?
That is a great question, Jack. I was on the competition committee for the last 3 years, and seeing the trends, the take foul, saw that come into play. The in-tournament tournament that in-season tournament we just had, we all thought Adam was crazy. But to his credit, he did a heck of a job of seeing that 2 years ago. It just didn't happen this year.
Yeah.
We have been talking about that, planning for that, talking to Players Association about that, and got it done. The first offer was it was going to be $1 million for each player, and they whittled it down to $500,000. Wow. Can you imagine how hard they would have played for $1 million? But to the Players Association's credit, to Adam's credit, they cut it down to $500,000, where all 4 teams could get some money during the finals. But the next phase, I do think something's got to be done to equalize post-play. Because right now, the big man is almost like a dinosaur.
Yeah.
And if they're not careful, they're going to be extinct. And, that you can handle them defensively, but the post-up game is gone. I know in the future they've talked about the Hawkeye system to tell whether it's a goaltending out of bounds. That's going to become a prominent part of the game. But I don't think, Jack, that you're going to see the analytic part or the three-point game go away. Because we talked about it from a competition committee standpoint. The game is probably at an all-time high of excitement.
Yeah.
The clicks on the telephone, the digital world is going to be big. So it's an exciting game, but I do think there's something's going to happen to reward post-play and to encourage post play to
They
kind
should
of
employ that FIBA
Dwayne-
rule. The ball's live on the rim. I think that'd be a great one for the
helps big
NBA.
man.
I like that.
Helps the big man.
I like
so,
that.
Dwayne,
Leo.
here's a question that, and I struggle with this too. We got a Canadian kid who's the player of the year in the
Right.
college game,
Right.
Zach Edey. In a different era, people would be salivating
No question.
to have him, to pick and to have him. Where do you see him standing now? Because, I mean, I watched the games this weekend when they beat Arizona. It was, I swear it was like Gene Cady was still coaching. The ball went inside and he kicked it out and guys were making shots from the outside, but they played inside out. He's so strong, he's so good close to the basket, he makes free throw. I mean, it was like a throwback watching a Kareem or somebody, like a dominant big man. Where do you see Zach in the NBA game going forward?
Well, I can't talk specifically about players in college right now, but
Right.
a guy like him is tough just because if he's not a great shot blocker, if he's not a great rim threat, the low post game, you better be great at that mid-range game before they start running plays for you posting up. Now, again, like Jack made a great question, will that change in the future? I think they're going to look at some things to reward post play, big men, the inside game somehow, some way, because it still is some exciting plays that can be had.
yeah.
But for a guy like that, like you said, 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago, definitely, they would be at the top of the charts.
Yeah.
But right now, can he run? Can he block shots? Is he a lob threat? Can he protect the rim? Can he pass?
Can he guard, screen, and
Can
roll?
he guard big
Yeah,
time
on the perimeter.
Because
Yeah.
that part of the game is not
Yeah.
going anywhere. So there's some players in the college game today at the top. That's the biggest question: can they guard the pick and roll, or can they be dominant in those other areas?
So I'll get you out on this. You've given us so much of your time, and we really appreciate it. You talked about the NBA Cup. Does LeBron winning this add to his legacy at all, or is it still the same as what it
LeBron,
was?
I tell you what, one of the best. There's always that argument: who's the best? Michael, LeBron. I know he's doing it at a later age.
Yeah.
He's the reason why I'm in Detroit right now. But yet still, I respect him. We laugh about it, talk about it all the time. His son, is one of the top guys. But I do say for what LeBron has done for the game, if he hadn't bought into the in-season tournament, it wouldn't have been a success.
Well, Dwayne, my comparison was like with golf, you've got the 4 majors,
Right.
and when they started the FedEx Cup playoffs, people said, there's no playoffs in golf. They said, no, we're going to have 3 weekends, and the winner gets $10 million at the end. And everybody was like, oh, okay.
They bought in.
They
bought in.
Tiger won the first 2.
right.
And to your point, when somebody important buys in,
No question.
then everybody says, oh, well, if it's important to him, it's important to me. And LeBron was 10 toes in.
He bought in, and all around the league, as soon as he spoke out on it, and everybody took off. Even with the money part of it, I don't know if they would have really bought in. The other stars around the league probably wouldn't have bought in until someone of his stature had. But he's great for the game, no matter how old he is or whatever he is. I do think LeBron is great for our game, and what he just did with the inaugural in-season tournament really catapulted the
Well,
tournament.
he's a future owner, so he's going to be sitting at the table with those guys. That's going to put more money in his pocket.
You know what's amazing to me, though? So he did this. They win it. And granted, it's an in-season tournament. Nobody's putting this out of perspective. But the criticism you get now for celebrating a win like that.
Yeah,
I'm going, are you kidding me?
Right.
Like, seriously.
No question.
Like, people are going like, Kobe would never do that. Well, if Kobe was playing in it, he'd
Yes, he
celebrate
would.
it.
Yes, he would.
I mean, so it makes
Celebrate the victories.
Those
Yeah.
competitors of their level would celebrate who's going to drink that glass of water first.
Me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm going to do it.
Exactly.
No matter whether it's $1, $500, you put shooting games in at practice.
Yeah.
They're going to compete.
Yep.
So you're exactly right, Leo. It wouldn't matter to him, to Kobe, to Michael, the great players of our league. And we should celebrate LeBron for everything he's done for our league to this point.
Well, you've been great for us and great for
We
basketball.
celebrate you,
and
Coach.
we
Thanks
appreciate
for
you
your
coming
Coach,
on.
all the time.
Thank you so much.
Foundations are laid,
Thank
right?
you, thank you, thank you.
I'll close the
Appreciate
show
it,
real
Jack.
quick.
Thank you, buddy.
Next game for the Raptors, Wednesday versus the Denver Nuggets.
Okay, John.
Tip off at 7:30. Don't forget, after the game, come by Real Sports. Be a part of the show with Dwayne Casey and I. It's awesome. Thanks for watching. We'll see you
Ratings
next
are way
time.
up.
Ratings just went up.